Well, hey guys, this video is about the class next week, next Sunday, so less than a week. It'll be the 13th. We'll be meeting at Wellspring of Life, 4 p.m. The information will be in this email, but if you're just somebody who's following us on YouTube, we will record that class for you. So I just want to talk a little bit about foundation training, what we tried to do in the past with this class. Last time we were trying to go through these three series, which was the core elements that Foundation Training put out. If you go on their website, which is what we're looking at now, even if you're not subscribed, you can still watch these freebies they got here. And we'll be going over a lot of this content. Mainly this independence from pain is going to show up. But yeah, it was a lot of information. The core elements contains a lot. If we just look at this first one here, if my computer wants to work. There we go. I think we only made it through this first series. The problem was people felt lost. And there's a lot here. A lot we were going over, so I kind of concised it all into one sheet, right? So we're going to talk about this one sheet, these 4 little moves. What can you do in 5 minutes, 10 minutes every morning just to set your day, try to work against all these problems we have, because stress is the #1 issue here. I'm talking, not you. Stress. We're fighting stress, neurological stress, and that's all coming down to foundation, our hips and our pelvic floor not supporting our spine. Even if you have all these random symptoms that are the one-sided symptoms and there's all these different diagnoses, it's tendinosis of my hamstring, proximal tendon of the biceps femoris. There's a problem with the central structure. We need to address that before we can even learn to address these one-sided issues. And it's all coming back to one problem. We think we have neck pain and all the other things and foot pain. It's all connected. And that's what this is all about. It's not just dealing with pain, but teaching us how to move. For our 4 basic movements, we walk and we sit and we bend. We bend 4,000 times a day. Bending, squatting. Is the motion happening at your hips, or is it happening at your spine? Is it flexion extension of the spine? Because that changes how we move. So if we get more movement from the hips, that's good. If we bend from the spine, not so good. And it's going to lead to decay and destruction of our joints. Same with breathing. You think breathing, can you really mess up breathing? It could be from the shoulders, or it could be from the pelvic floor and the diaphragm, which is good. It's support. It's going to expand the ribcage. So we're just training you how to do these 4 things better. Yes, sitting can be an exercise. Walking can be an exercise. It's not just movement. It's how we're moving. So we're not going to go through all this stuff again. We're just going to keep it simple, really focus on these 4 movements, try to help you create a morning routine, something you can just spend 5 minutes a day on. Now there's a little QR code that I'll hand this out to you, this sheet. If you come to class, you'll get it. But it's okay if you're online. You can just go to the playlists. This QR code takes you to our spinal breathwork playlist. And the very first video there, is this one. And it'll have the pictures of these steps that you can go through. And just look at this. It's under 7 minutes. So you can double this. You can do all these little exercises twice. If you're looking for something more, like something like 15 minutes, you can go for that. And some of the wording here is going to be a little tough to understand, but the more you work through it, the more you work through the rest of these videos in this playlist, you'll start to understand the verbiage and you'll start to get better at feeling what's really going on here. Because you're just going to get better and better at doing this, which means it's going to get harder and harder. So you can get a lot out of just 2 minutes of this stuff. You can really break through a lot of restriction, really help your body get more symmetrical and normal, and you're really training your body how to move better, because it's not like I can put you in a perfect position and your body's just going to stay there. You have to train yourself out of those bad habits. You can't just have better posture. You can't just think it. You have to train it, and that's what this class is all about, and that's what these exercises are all about, is training better movement, walking, sitting, breathing, bending, the things we do most often. 20 to 30,000 breaths a day does matter how you do them. It's not just more movement, right? Better movement. So you can go through this video, prepare for class, and if you're just on YouTube or whatever, you can just go through this, and I'll upload the next video with this. The freebies on foundation training are good, especially when we get to the standing stuff here. I'm going to do things a little bit different, and you can kind of hack this. You'll notice I'm in a narrow stance there. This is a wide stance. Another thing that's good is if you've got this link and you're on Exile Strong, that's the channel, you can also go to another playlist. And this is something we talked about doing the core elements, was anchoring. And that's the most important thing that people miss, is this anchoring. So there's this playlist here, anchoring the hips, which I actually run through some of the anatomy, get a little deeper into it, and it'll actually me going along to some of the foundation training exercises on anchoring. So we're trying to help you establish and understand that idea of what anchoring is, because it's essentially the hips pulling into the socket and the pelvis pushing down, anchoring as the spine lifts. And that's the toughest part, because you have so much fascia, this tight fascia that just holds our back. See all these muscles in the front here? These are generally what's weak. The pelvis sways forward. And you can even see, like almost in the back here, from the top of the iliac crest going with the ribs and your back, just all tight and constricted. So it's forcing us into a bad habit. And you can't just stretch that out of there. It's something that's internally and actively you have to break apart and retrain. That's the only way to do it. Your chiropractic massage therapist can get in there and break up that tight fascia, but it's not going to retrain you to move better. You're just going to feel a little bit better, and then eventually it's going to compress. Hips are going to sway forward, they're going to externally rotate, and you're going to have all these problems, because as soon as the hips move forward, the spine compresses, and that's neurological stress, and then any disease we can connect there. If you were like, well, how can you connect to any disease? That is this playlist here. Go to playlists again, and you want to go to the posture report. Posture report will break all that down. Pain, what is pain? How are your organs affected by how you're moving, how you're breathing, pelvic floor, what's going on there, spinal fluid. It's going to talk about all these different issues and what we see. And that's what it's all about, is getting to the peak, following this green path, getting better, not getting worse. You don't want to get like this upward downward spiral. Like you get adjusted and then you slowly get worse again. You get adjusted again, you slowly get worse again. It shouldn't be like that. It should be the adjustments and your movement. You're slowly improving, slowly getting better, getting younger. That is the goal. So that's what we're going to do at class. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to go through these 4, and if we have enough good attendance and people really are connecting with the idea, then maybe we'll meet again next month. The gym, I'm going to be doing some stuff there. I have to get the go-ahead from the coaches that it's okay to do classes. I'm going to do it for people who are already members. For Ridgeline, of course, is already paying, so there's probably going to be a fee involved with that. If you're coming to Wellspring, just a donation to the church. If you felt like you got something out of the class, you could definitely donate to the church. It's not going to me, it's going to the church. So I'll keep you updated on both things, though, and what it'll look like for Ridgeline, because I've been running a class there. I just haven't been advertising it anymore through the emails. So just people who are already Ridgeline members have been going to that class. So hopefully that makes some sense and what you can look at as far as the foundation training. If you could subscribe, that's good, and then you can work through, I think it's, $15 a month. It's not really bad. That also, you'll get more out of the class if you're subscribing. They do monthly little workouts, but you could also work through their baseline, their intro, and just working all the way up through that. Okay. The book is good, True to Form. That also will help you. I got it right here. Will also help you understand the neurological things that are going on with stress and how it can really affect all our organs. And that's the chiropractic story. It's like, hey, if we adjust this bone, it's going to take pressure off your nervous system. Your heart's going to beat better. It's crazy to think about, but that's what every chiropractor believes. Why can't we have that same effect by taking stress off the spine through training or better movement? Of course, it's going to work hand in hand with chiropractic. And that way, it's really attacking things. So sometimes it's even what you're eating is a Band-Aid. You have like these super strict diets because all this stuff bothers you. It's because you have so much stress, your gut's not working well. It's because there's so many mechanical problems that now it's a Band-Aid that you have to eat so strict with your diet. So it does work that way. Some people think, oh, diet, your gut is the foundation of all health. Well, if your gut's messed up, but your gut can be messed up through mechanical ways, through stress, cerebral spinal fluid, being locked in the sympathetic state can definitely cause a lot of autoimmune things. So definitely the mechanical aspects. Again, posture report playlist gets into that. So there's a lot of information I have on my YouTube channel just for free that you can watch. You can just spend the time to really understand these problems. But ultimately, I'm just trying to convince you to come to class, put the work in, because you might not feel a change for a week. But in a month, if you're consistent, just doing 5 minutes every day, you're going to feel a big difference after a month. It's like going and working out for a week. You're not going to have a major difference. After a month, that's when you're going to start noticing things. That's when you'll be like, oh, I'm moving so much better, and that hip problem's gone away. That's crazy. You just got to be consistent with it. You're not going to feel amazing after one session. The better you get at it, definitely, I feel immediate relief because I've gotten better at decompressing and anchoring, learning all these things. And I'm constantly learning. I always feel like I'm learning, getting better at it, and then it just really saves me time because 5 minutes is like an hour at the gym. Honestly, that's what it feels like sometimes. So foundation training, try some of the freebies. If you like them, go ahead and subscribe. Work through the baseline. Try to understand the principles. The core elements is something I purchased in the past because I've been following for a while, so I bought the original content, the fundamentals, and then I worked through the core elements. It's something I've taught before, so I've worked through that a few times. I still feel like I'm learning. But you can also subscribe rather than just paying the full price, but at least that's something you have forever, which is nice. But I like that you get new content. They're always putting out new videos when you subscribe. Like they just put out their December workout, which I have yet to do. And you probably see me when you come to the office. I'm usually doing one of these videos trying to follow along. If I got time and patience, I'm learning, but I'm also working on my spine, trying to get better, constantly working and improving on this stuff. Any questions, go ahead and just leave a comment under this video or email me back. But excited for the Sunday class. We'll see how it goes. Get a good turnout. We'll definitely record it. Try to upload it soon. I won't be able to do it live because the Wi-Fi there is not great, but should have enough memory on my phone to record it and be uploaded later. So excited to get back in there and help you guys get out of pain. You see a lot of you every day that I know will benefit from this. It's not just that I'm stuck on foundation training. There's real things that I'm seeing in your body that tells me this is exactly what you need. All right? It's not because, I know this will help. There's literal things I'm seeing. And the posture report breaks that down. We'll look at different posture types and why that is. If you're looking for the why, you need to be convinced more. This is the playlist for you. Just work your way through that. I think there's some exercises in there, but it's mainly just to teach you about your body. Once you understand your body and how it works, that definitely helps. All right, guys, but if you're looking for the exercise, again, you just go to the spinal breathwork playlist, or it's just the most recent video that I put out, spinal breathwork. At the office, this is the QR code we have on the wall. So again, there's some teaching stuff in there, but it's a little more basic. But that first video, it's going to have the pictures of this paper, this handout that we're going to do. And that's what I decided were the best 4 exercises I could do. So I know it. I don't want to give you a lot. We did a lot of laying stuff before. It's too much for a lot of people. We'll start here. We'll start small. If I convince you and you want more, you go to foundation training. Or you work the rest of this playlist. There's some other good stuff in here. You can join Jeremy and I at Ridgeline, doing the breathing work together. Just work your way through this list. There's a couple foundation training, free videos there. And then at the end of this, we even got an anchoring video. We got some, how do you do this with kettlebells? How do you take foundation training principles and apply it to CrossFit or your weight training, or even your yoga or anything like that, running and walking. You're just applying the principles. It's the principles that are important. It's not that foundation training is special. It's the principles that I'm trying to teach you. Anchoring of the hips, decompression of the spine, those 2 things. They're kind of obscure concepts. There's definitely a learning curve. It probably can be even frustrating. But if I can just convince 1 out of 10 to do this stuff, it's life-changing to them. It really is. It's life-changing. Once they understand foundation training and the principles, they can apply it to the things they like to do. If you want to come to class and you're like, hey, I do this stretch, we'll look at the stretch and be like, okay, let's apply the principles and see how it looks. But usually once you have the principles, it makes sense. Okay, anchoring the hips, decompression of the spine, then I do whatever I like to do, whether it be biking or swimming even, right? Even exercises that are non-weight bearing, like swimming. All right, that was a lot. I like to talk. You know that. Getting it out of the way, so when we actually go to class, we can just do the doing instead of the talking, because I do a lot of the talking. So actually get out there, see what we can do. But it'll definitely help you to at least do some of this stuff, encourage you to do some of this stuff so you're not lost and confused, deer in the headlights when you come to class. All right, take care, guys. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday or virtually.